Step into the spotlight.
Hey guys, what's up? Underground Geek here. Just going to talk about another comic book. And before we get started, I want to go ahead and mention a couple things. Who of you have seen Diversity Comics review of Dawnbreaker? You seen it? If you hadn't, check out his channel. It's Diversity Comics, and then he also has Splato del Gato. There's a joke behind that for his live streams. So be sure to follow him. He's a really good guy. He's really smart. And he knows a lot about comics. And he's good at being unbiased. He'll tell you if something's good, he'll tell you if something's bad. But here's the thing. He did a review of Dawnbreaker, and he did a roast, really. It was just a roast. And he like tore pages out of the book and everything. And some people were getting really, upset about it. And that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to do a roast. He was trying to be fun. He was trying to, get some people excited, get some people mad. It's part of the thing. And just so you know, it's okay. It's okay for him to have a difference in opinion about something than you. You don't have to be part of a collective. That's what we're trying to fight against, is people that are a part of a collective. There's no need for that. So when I saw his video, I was kind of like, oh man, why did you do that? But then I just minded my own business and went on. I did tell Ethan, though, that it was okay. I still liked his comic, though. But he needs my support. But anyway, so let's talk about a comic book here. I just read Wonder Woman number 32. And for those of you who don't know, they got a different artist. And I'm pretty sure they got a different writer a while back. And everybody was kind of complaining about the writer. But then they've kind of turned things around now. But the artist is different. Everybody was saying, the art's really good. The art's really good. And it is good. I'll show you some faults in it. But it is good for the most part. But let's talk about this cover. So this cover does not impress me. Because the more that I look at it, the less that I like it. You know how you can critique something? This is what you call in the car world a 10-footer. If you have a car and you're trying to sell it, and when you get up close, you notice a lot of imperfections. The fenders are out of line. The paint's a little orange pillish. There's some little things missing there. There's stuff worn, but from 10 feet away, it looks really good. That's what I mean by a 10-footer. When you get up close to this comic, this cover, you start to notice all the imperfections. For one, it makes Wonder Woman look like she's in a very static position, because she is so much different. She's the focus of the cover, but she's so much different in the lighting and shading from the background images that it really looks like her arm is just stuck in an upward position and that her other arm is folded forward. And her face looks like she's a statue. She has no emotion on her face whatsoever. And that's okay at a close up of a character, because then you can draw more emotion in the lips and mouth and eyes with them having a stagnant look as opposed to from a distance. This looks like a standard little action figure that somebody has posed in an awkward position. But then if you look at the cover, what they're trying to show you is all the different trials that Hercules had to go through, because this is about the treasures of Hercules. This is all the things that he had, the different trials, the 12 trials he had to go through to redeem himself after he was possessed and murdered his family. So then we get another cover that's a little bit better, but it's just one of those bland covers. And then we get an advertisement for Doomsday Clock. Definitely check that out. And here we are. We're in the Paris catacombs. Anything with the catacombs is cool to me, because it shows an ancient lore kind of idea to the story, and I like it. Now, granted, some of these skulls are a little on the side of the wall there, but I understand you had to draw a bunch of skulls. I understand. And it looks like he did every one of them individually. That's what's so good about this. But there are some of them that's a little, the jaws look kind of weird on them, but it's cool. So, basically what is happening is you got this ragtag team, the team that has always teamed up with Wonder Woman. They're on a mission, and Wonder Woman has ran ahead and left them like normal. And he said, pretty much what I expected, she flew on ahead. Why? That's a dumb question. There was a battle awaiting her. And then we cut to the next page, and it's lots of action. And this is the title page. And so I really like the pose that they have Wonder Woman is. She looks strong. She looks pretty. The costume's colored well. There's even like a shine to her hair. Hey, Marvel, take notes. This is how you draw a strong, beautiful woman. But she's taking out some of the... I can never remember these creatures' names, but, you know, they're the little minions of Apocalypse, but I can never remember what they're called. Hellspawns or something like that. I don't know. But anyway... the writer is James Robinson, does a good job. The pencils is Sergio Davila. I'm trying to read these, they're at a distance from me. The inks is Scott Hanna and Mark Morales. The colors is Romulo Furtado Jr. And, you know, they do a good job, you know. Now, I will show you a little bit stuff that I've noticed that they were kind of in a hurry and they kind of dipped on some things. But anyway, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit so I can read what these guys are saying. I don't know if it's going to let me go any further. But anyway, so they're having a huge conflict. They're talking at the same time. He says, "You heard her, old fellas. Spread out and shoot them up. Odd fellows, spread out and shoot them up." I guess that's what the name of the group is, Odd Fellows. I'm not really on the up and up of Wonder Woman. But I did watch the movie. Does that count? Fake geek girl. So I like the Scottish guy. Anytime he says something, I like to hear him talk. He's singing. He says, "Yeah, I'll take the high road and I'll take the low road." He says, "How you doing, Angel?" They keep calling her Angel, and it gets a little awkward because I'm not used to her being called Angel, but I can understand because she's beautiful. She's angelic. She flies. I mean, she's like their mascot. At the same time, they're their team leader. And he says, "Oh, there's nothing we can't handle." And then he says, "Oh, boy." So then they cut to the next scene because something has obviously gathered their attention. It's very strange, and now they brought it back to Argus. Well, no, that was hours earlier, so I totally got thrown off by that. See, that's where it gets kind of confusing sometimes when they do that kind of stuff. But anyway, he's like, "Oh boy." So then they're standing there next to a body, and the guy's basically talking to Trevor. He's trying to find out, how it feels because he was with Argus and he's with the Navy, and now he's kind of working part-time with Argus, so it's kind of an awkward situation. And he says, "How does it feel coming back with Argus?" He goes, "This is just temporary, Dr. Peril. I'm Navy now, so for one thing, if you say my rank, it's Master Chief." "I never did understand why you transferred over." And he said, "And you don't need to. Let's just say I wanted a simple life." Ooh, tell him. Ooh, get him. So anyway, they're standing over this body, and it's very decrepit and sucked of its life. He said, "Well, there's nothing simple about this, a dead god, Hercules no less." And he said, What the heck happened? Do you know him, Diana?" And she said, "Only by reputation." And I love the emotional effect that they have with her and these gods in it because this is her brother. She was made by Zeus, and he was birthed by Zeus. They're basically brother and sister. And they don't really have a relationship, It's an awkward family thing. So, anyway... Is this still recording? You got to check on this. Okay, there we go. So anyway, they keep talking, and she said, "Any idea what killed him?" And he said, "That's the thing. Ever since Darkseid last fought the Justice League, Argus has been monitoring the energy spikes on Earth of the type we determined are unique to Apocalypse." So pretty much what they say is they figured out that something's happening, and Apocalypse's signature is being left wherever they find these dead people. And she says it's Grail, which is Darkseid's daughter. Sorry. But she says it has to be Amazon Mother and her father Darkseid. So then you get a 2-second backstory. Okay, we get it. She's half Amazon, half Darkseid's bloodline. So he said, Darkseid's been reincarnated as a baby. I've seen him. That has to be a part of this too. It says, "See Dark Knights #2. Dark Knights #2 with Darkseid Baby was one of my favorite points of this whole storyline because when Batman popped that baby out and it was like a baby Darkseid, that made me laugh so hard. But anyway, I think he's become a meme too. So basically we see this part right here, and he's trying to show him into another room, and art kind of dips down at a distance. I didn't really like that, because they can draw better than that. But you see their faces in the background. That's literally just a couple of lines. It says, "This may shed some light. The site of Hercules' demise wasn't the first such location. nor was he the first victim. And they show all these different bodies. So then we're kind of figuring out what's happening. Grail is going around killing these people for their life energy. And she's going after powerful people. Some of them have been more random, I think, to kind of throw them off what she's trying to do. But for the most part, she's going to go for powerful people. Eventually, I think she's going to go for Wonder Woman. I think this is what this is leading up to. Wonder Woman or Jason. We'll talk about him in a little while. And so then this guy runs in and he says, just in Paris this time. And he tells him basically there's been another body found. And he says, what is it, Steve? Another death like this one? Yes and no. From what I can tell, energy-wise, it's apocalypse. As for deaths, though, there doesn't appear to be a specific victim. And so then when we cut back to where they're in Paris, it says, just some gendarmes who won't get to celebrate Bastille Day. Okay. That nobody really understands that. You're going to have to make these references a little bit better. But it says, a lesser man might feel threatened by how often you pull my fat out of the fire, as she's knocking these guys back and kind of saving them. And she says, firstly, Steve, you're not fat. Figure of speech, Angel. I just mean, and I'm sure you'll save my back. You usually do. So, you know, there's that nice little relationship back and forth. She's not all powerful. She just helps him. And he helps her. He helps in his own way because he's just immortal. Not really thanks, but thanks for saying so. Nay, Stevie boy, accept the fact. You're nay, but eye candy. He says, and you'll have a black eye. You keep opening your mouth. And then the Indian says, come on, guys, focus. And Chief's right. Let's drop these freaks. So they start shooting them. Wonder Woman's like smashing them into the wall. We get a nice little splash page here where she's taking them out. Bones flying around. Then we get this cool page here where she's standing over them. And just look at the way she's drawn. Really drawn beautifully. Hair flowing in the wind. Standing over them like a champion with a rope around its neck. And she says, and this certainly doesn't contradict the idea that Grail has something brewing. Because, you know, these guys work for Apocalypse. And obviously there's a reason why they're around. He said, still there's no link between these hives down here and the death of Hercules or the others. Like you say, Angel, maybe this answer does lie with that lawyer, Hooper, yeah? I hate how he keeps calling her Angel and everybody else is calling her Angel. He should have a different name for her because they're together. You know, he should call her Angel and they should call her Wonder Woman. It kind of throws the dynamic off when you talk about it over and over. And she says, Blake Hooper, that's right. As the executioner of Hercules' will, he has to know something. If you don't know from the last issue, Hercules left everything to Diana. And so they're headed to his house. They're at Oregon, 3 miles from Alexanor. And this threw me off. I had to look twice. I had to take a double take to see that this is Wonder Woman. Because they drew her completely different in the face. And she was in a different outfit. And I could barely see her tiara until I got to the next page. So it threw me off just a little bit. But I was like, that has to be her. How many brunettes is in this book with the same hair color? But, you know, nevertheless, when you draw somebody completely different, it can throw you off. But anyway, so they're headed that way, and then they see his house in the distance. They walk in, and she sees all of his things, and he says, what's the matter, Wonder Woman? You look sad. And she does look sad for her. She's kind of like, you know. And she says, I'm Diana, Mr. Hooper. It's time we set aside more formalities. Diana, then? I'm Blake. I repeat the question, is something wrong? Then we get the next page. She goes, seeing Hercules' home, his life here and now, he was more than just a legend. He was my brother. And so then they're talking more and more about the things. But here's where I want to go down. I'm going to go down to the middle here, to the left and right panel. Look at the difference in her face and how it's drawn from the far left panel to the far right panel. And they reused a couple of panels here with her face and just kind of changed her face just a little bit. But this left and right here, her face is drawn completely different. The nose is different. The eyes are different. The shape of the face is different. This is not the same person. Okay, so they kind of messed up on that. Well, she's talking about how she misses him, and then the lawyer gives her a letter that has his formal seal on it. And then we get this nice page. I mean, this is an awesome splash page on the next page, talking about Hercules is telling her all about his life and what has happened and how he misses her. And he says, I was not always nice, I was not always good, and I am sorry for those misdeeds and wrongs. I want nothing to do with the past, that past Hercules of legend, so I hide away like a craven coward. And he says, I am proud of this, no. Am I proud of this? No. But it's as it should be. Of that I'm sure. Firstly, if you're reading this, then I am dead. I hope I died well. You know, that sounds just like a warrior. I give all I have to you, Diana, so good, so true, because I can think of no one worthy of my material things. I have knowledge. I have something I swore to keep secret at the behest of Glaucus. And I was like, ooh, what's going on here? He's about to tell her something. He goes, who like I once rode as crewman on the Argus along with the original Jason. He says, an immortal like I, Glaucus was given a baby to raise, a boy named after the Argonauts' leader. He too is Jason. Underline. Your twin brother. Ooh. Uh-oh. Bomb drop. Spoiler alert. He says, my brother too, as you are my sis. And then she yells out, Jason, my twin brother. And she remembers where the mother of Grail, she told me of him as I lay dying. I didn't know if she was lying or telling the truth, but now this confirms it, you know. And he says, check the lion skin. So she gets the lion skin. And this is where I was kind of thrown off a little bit, because she checks the lion skin and it has coordinates kind of tapped in or written in the side of the skin. And I was like, really, dude? You couldn't just roll up an old scroll and stick it in the lion's mouth? And then she could be like, oh, look, there's a scroll in there. And pull it out, and then it has like the coordinates, you know, where to go, or maybe an address or like the name of the place. To me, that would have been more inclined with the letter that he left, as opposed to this weird cryptic CIA spy stuff. You know, that was just kind of, it threw me out a little bit. So then she goes to Aegean Coast, and she's talking with a lawyer, trying to find Jason. They go to where he's known to be, and the lady says, Jason, oh, he's gone for the day. He'll be back this evening like always. Gone where exactly, ma'am? Where the fish are, of course. He and his crew, every morning before dawn, they set off like clockwork. They are. If you want him now, though, he's out there. So it seems we'll have to wait, Diana. Do I seem like someone who likes to wait? And then we get this awesome scene where she whips off her jacket. She has her costume on underneath, lets her hair down, and says, would you hold my coat? I'll be back. And then she flies off. All the kids are like, yeah, it's Wonder Woman. And then we get this nice little scene here where she's flying through the air with the birds. Look how well drawn she is. And then she swoops down on the boat and says, Jason, that is you, yes. I can feel it. Don't be scared. Nothing's wrong. But I have to tell you, I'm my sister. I know. I can feel it, too. You found me. And so then we get this strange scene here. I don't know why his shirt's off, but it's kind of cool because it's like an homage to, well, it's not really homage, but it reminds me of that scene from Man of Steel where he comes out of the water and his shirt's all burned up and stuff, you know. He's wearing almost the same outfit and he looks kind of the same. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of weird. I was like, why are they drawing him all muscular with his shirt off? It's kind of cool, but at the same time, I'm like, what? But anyway, so that's where it ends. It says next reunion. So she's going to meet him. So obviously, Grail is probably going to come after him in the next comic book, more than likely. And then she'll have to defend him. But anyway, what did you guys think of this? I thought it was really good. I did think it dipped down some places in the art, though. But for the most part, it was a pretty cool comic. And I like how they've completely turned the story around. Because the first couple of issues was awful. But now we're kind of concentrated more on her. We've gotten rid of those weird side characters that they added for no reason. And now we can get back to basics, what that is Wonder Woman. I love how DC finds something that doesn't work and changes it. You know, they don't keep on keeping on, they change it. Now, I can't say that for Blue Beetle, but for the most part, they pretty much handled all their problems. But what did you think about this comic? You know, did you like my suggestions about what to do? Did you like where I pointed out some of the dips down in the art? I mean, because that's kind of important. You know, an editor should look at that and go, why is her face completely different from one panel to the next? Why is this cover so stagnant? But anyway, you know, that's the business. It still is a good comic. I still recommend it. And please check out the rest of the comics, because if this one is good, you can only imagine it's going to be good from there on, because now they're actually concentrating on backstory, Wonder Woman lore, and how it ties into Greek and Roman mythology. But all right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Underground Geek out.